Hi, good morning to each and everyone. Welcome to the Living in the IT Era class. And our first topic for this week is all about introduction to the digital age. By the way, this is your instructor, Engineer Rodrigo P. Calapan. So, we all know that the introduction of the digital age refers to the period in human history which is marked by the widespread adoption and integration of digital technologies into various aspects of our daily life, work, business, and of course, in our society as a whole. And this era began in the latter part of the 20th century and continues to evolve in the 21st century up to the present. Na? And here are some key points to discuss when we are going to talk about the digital age living in the IT era. By the way, our learning objectives is to explore on the historical context and evolution of information technology, discuss the concept of the digital divide, and of course, its impact in our society. And at the same time, analyze these issues related to access, related to inequality, and inclusion in the digital age. So, one key points when we talk about digital age is, of course, digital transformation. We all know that the digital age represents a significant transformation, no? From analog to mechanical systems and of course to digital ones. No? So we could be able to notice it, no? From the devices, the appliances that we have been using at home. No? Of course, no? When we talk about digital ones, that is actually characterized by the use of binary codes, which is zeros and ones, to represent and manipulate information. As an example for technological transformation is the transition from analog television signals to digital broadcasting, which is very noticeable nowadays. No? And of course, there's a shift, no, from film-based photography to digital cameras. And that's what we have been observed, no, nowadays. Another key points is the computing revolution. One here is the development of personal computer such as the IBM PC and the Apple Macintosh. And the other one is the proliferation, no, of smartphones which are very essential in our lives. So, if we have noticed, the early computers were large and expensive, but over time, they became smaller, they became more powerful, and more accessible to the general populations. Another key points that we have observed in the digital age is, of course, the internet and connectivity. The advent of the internet in the late 20th century, of course, revolutionized communication and, of course, information sharing. The internet connected people globally. No? At this point of time, we could just be able to communicate our loved ones just as easy as, and as for as long as we will be able to notice that he or she is online, then we could just easily tap them, we could just easily communicate them, we could just easily chat them. That revolutionized communication and of course the way we share information. And at the same time, the internet connected people globally. And it enables us to exchange ideas, of course, exchange data or information, and at the same time, the culture, exchange culture at an unprecedented scale. Say, for example, the creation of the World Wide Web by Tim Berners-Lee. Of course, that creation of the WWW revolutionized online information access. And another example is the social networking platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Threads. Of course, that became as a platform where we could be able to connect people easily worldwide. Another key points in the digital era is, of course, communication. Digital technologies have transformed the way we communicate. We have nowadays, we have the email technology, we have several social media networking sites, we have this instant messaging platform, and of course, video conferencing platform. You know, almost you have it all. No? And this technology, this particular platform, have become an integral part of the modern way of communication. For example, as what I have mentioned a while ago, the widespread use of email for both personal and professional communication. And at the same time, another example is, of course, the rise of messaging apps like WhatsApp and WeChat for instant communication and other instant messaging application. Now, so you have several options. Another key points when we talk about digital literacy or is, of course, information access. The digital age has made vast amounts of information which is readily accessible by users, by people. We have search engines, we have online libraries, and several educational resources, which have also revolutionized how we acquire knowledge. One of the examples here is, of course, the presence of the Google search engines, which provides access to a vast amount of online information. And the other one is the online educational platform like Coursera, Khan Academy, and many more. No? We have several massive online open courseware offers courses and resources which are all available all over the web. No? So another key points that we have been discussing here when we talk about digital era is, of course, the presence of e-commerce. So before, when there will be no internet, of course, when you purchase, you have to go to the market. But with the presence of several e-commerce platforms, you could now easily buy anything that you want online. And the presence of this particular digital e-commerce technology has given rise to e-commerce. No? And digital technology has given the rise to e-commerce, changing the way we shop and, of course, to conduct business. At this point of time, we have several online marketplaces And of course, the payment systems have made it possible for you to buy and at the same time sell goods and services globally, which is impossible before. But now you could just be able to shop things that you want online, which are not available in the Philippines. No, you could just easily uh, shop it online by Alibaba, eBay, or whatever e-commerce platform do you prefer. An example for it is, of course, we have the Amazon's online retail platform. No, of course, locally we have Shopee, we have Alibaba. I mean, no, we have what's that? Lazada, no, which allows customers to purchase products from around the world. Another example is the growth also of online payment systems like PayPal, Stripe. Of course, this becomes the way for us, no? When we subscribe this payment system, we have uh, yes, PayMongo, no? Which facilitates secure online transactions. Another key points, no, is of course entertainment and media. The digital age has transformed the entertainment industry. Of course, we have streaming services now available, online gaming, and of course, the digital content distribution also have disrupted the traditional media formats. And if you have noticed, if you are aware with the news, no, in CNN, some of the talents, no, in Hollywood are actually they're actually in protest, no, regarding the use of AI in the entertainment industry. And of course, no, this is the sad, but definitely this is but definitely this is the saddest uh, part, no, the digital age. Sometimes you might be replaced by an AI, no? A person, the real talent can be sometimes replaced by an AI, no? And that happens, no, in uh, several movies uh, that we have been seen, no, online. No? There are some movies that is actually being produced by AI. One of the example here, the with regards to the transformation of the entertainment industry is the presence also of Netflix. No? Netflix. This is a streaming service that has disrupted traditional televisions and film distribution. No? Uh, Before, if there will be new movies that is being released, you need to go to the cinema just to watch it. No? Nowadays, for as long as you have um, you are subscribing Netflix now, you can just easily watch it online. Another example is, of course, the popularity of YouTube as a platform for user-generated and professional video content. Another key points is on data and analytics. The digital age has led to the generation of enormous amount of data. Advanced analytics and data science have emerged to extract insights, projections, and inform decision makings. One of the example here is, of course, the data-driven advertising platforms like Facebook, YouTube, or on Facebook, no? Google, which of course target users based on their preferences. Another example here is the healthcare organizations using data analytics to improve patients' outcome and manage resources more effectively. Another point is on automation and the use of AI or artificial intelligence. We all know that, of course, automation powered by digital technologies has transformed industries like manufacturing and logistics. And with AI, no, artificial intelligence and machine learning are the driving force towards innovations in the various sectors. One of the example of which is the automation in manufacturing with the presence of robots and of course the CNC machines. It replaced manual labor to some processes. And the other example here is the presence of chatbots and virtual assistants using AI that provides customer support and at the same time answer your queries. Another key point is of course on the challenges and concerns. The digital age has brought about challenges including concerns about data privacy, cybersecurity, digital divide, and the impact of automation, or definitely the impact of automation on employment. And one of the example of which is on the data breaches of companies like Equifax, which highlights concern about data security. And the other example is on the debates about the impact of automation on employment, particularly on the industries like transportation and manufacturing. So, ang mga diskusyon tungkol sa epekto ng otomasyon na sa trabaho, lalo na sa industriya tulad ng transportasyon at manufacturing. And of course, future trends. We have discussed some potential future trends in the digital age, such as the continued advancement of AI. And of course, what else? The presence of the Internet of Things or IoT, virtual reality, and quantum computing. And societal implication. We have to explore how the digital age has affected society, including changes in work patterns, social interaction, no, the way we learn in education, and of course in healthcare. And one of the example here is on the remote work, no, which became more common nowadays due to digital technology, most especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Another example is on the online education platforms. No? These platforms enabling access to quality education for people in the remote areas. Another key point is on ethical considerations. We have to address ethical issues related to digital technologies. And one of these concerns is on privacy, data ethics, and the responsible use of AI or artificial intelligence. One of the example of which is the concerns about the ethical use of AI in decision-making processes, such as lending or hiring. And at the same time, on the privacy issues arising from the collection and sale of personal data by tech technological companies. And the last one is on the environmental impact. We need to mention the environmental impact of the digital age, no? Including concerns about e-waste and the energy consumptions of the data centers. We all know the increasing energy consumption of data centers nowadays, which definitely contributes the environmental concerns. And another one is on the efforts to recycle electronic waste or e-waste and reduce the environmental footprint of electronic devices. The introduction to the digital age has ushered a new era of technology-driven change, affecting nearly every aspect of our lives. And it continues to evolve, presenting both opportunities, both challenges for us as an individual, for businesses, and the society as a whole. So at this point of time, let me present the historical context of and evolution of information technology or IT, which is, of course, a very fascinating journey that has transformed the way we live, the way we work, and the way we communicate. So, during the pre-20th century, one of the technologies that has transformed the lives of the people is, of course, the presence of abacus. No? The invention of abacus way back in 2700s before Christ or BC. And the abacus, an early counting device, is one of the earliest tools which is being used for numerical calculations. Another important inventions in the 15th century is the presence of the printing press. And Johannes Gutenberg's invention of the printing press in the 15th century revolutionized the spread of information by making books and written knowledge more accessible. Moving forward on the 20th century, the presence of the mechanical computers, no? The first mechanical computers such as Charles Babbage's analytical engine were conceptualized, although they were never built during his lifetime. It was it was being followed by ENIAC in 1940s. ENIAC stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. This technology is considered the first fully operational electronic computer, marking the beginning of the digital computing era. Uh, so you remember that one, the presence of the electronic numerical integrator and computer or ENIAC marks the beginning of the digital computing era. That was in 1940. This is being followed by the invention of transistors in 1947. The invention of a transistor by John Barden, Walter Bratton, and William Shockley at the Bell's Lab paves the way for smaller, faster, and more reliable electronic devices. After which, this is being followed by the invention of integrated circuits or ICs in 1960s by Jack Kelby and Robert Noyce. They developed the integrated circuits or microchips, leading to the miniaturization of electronic components. In 1969, the Advanced Research Project Agency Network, uh, the U.S. Department of Defense Advanced Research Project Agency Network, or ARPANET, this is the precursor to the internet, was established to facilitate research communication. So the establishment of ARPANET became a precursor to the network, to the global network. The ARPANET was first established to just facilitate research communication in the U.S. Department of Defense. In 1970s and 80s, we have already noticed the presence of personal computers or PCs. And in 1970s, we already saw the emergence of the first personal computers, including the Altair 8800 and Apple I. And the IBM PC was introduced in 1981, making personal computers more accessible. After which, of course, Microsoft and Apple, no? Microsoft, which is being founded by William Bill Gates and Paul Allen in 1975. And of course, Apple, which was founded by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak and Ronald Wayne in 1976. These both companies played a pivotal roles in the development of our personal computing. After which, in 1990s, we have here the invention of the World Wide Web or the WWW by Tim Berners-Lee, which became or which allowed for the creation of websites and easy navigation of the internet. And in the late 1990s, we have the dot-com boom. We saw a rapid growth of internet-based businesses and the dot-com bubble. In the 21st century, of course, I think you guys are familiar with this. Since 2000s, we have seen the presence of smartphones, the evolution of smartphones. And we all know that the introduction of smartphones such as the iPhone in 2007, up to this point of time, iPhone 14 revolutionized mobile computing, communication, and internet access. Not just for iPhone, no? On the same as on the other brand. Another thing that we have noticed in the early 2000s is the presence of cloud computing. So the cloud computing services like the Amazon Web Services or the AWS and Google Cloud emerged, changing the way businesses handles data and IT infrastructure. And on the early 2000 also, the presence of the different social media platforms. Before, now we have Friendster. Nowadays, we have Threads, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram transform the way people connect and at the same time, the way we share information. Another thing is, of course, the presence of big data and analytics in 2010s. We all know that the proliferation of data and advanced analytic tools has led to the significant advancement in the data-driven decision making. Another evolution that we have noticed in the 21st century is, of course, the presence or the rise of artificial intelligence or AI. AI and machine learning have gained prominence in various fields, including autonomous vehicle, healthcare, and at the same time, on the natural language processing. Another thing is, of course, the blockchain technology in 2009. The introduction of blockchain technology with Bitcoin has opened up new possibilities for secure, decentralized transactions and led to the development of cryptocurrencies. Another thing that we have observed is the presence of the IoT or the Internet of Things. IoT has connected every day, no? Connected everyday devices to the internet that enables us or that enabling data collections and automation in various industries. And of course, the 5G technologies in 2020s. The rollout of the 5G networks promises faster internet speeds, and enables innovation like augmented reality or AR and autonomous systems. So that's all the highlights of the evolution of information technology way back in the pre-20th century up to the 21st century. This time, let's move on digital divides and its impact to the society. So when we say digital divide, it refers to the gap between individuals or communities who have access to digital technologies and the internet and those who do not have. Of course, it encompasses issues related to internet, related to access, related to inequality and inclusion in the digital age. So, at this point of time, let me discuss the digital divide and of course its impact on our society. One of the issues concerned is of course on the access to technology and the internet. in any developing countries like the Philippines, this is one of our major issues. When connectivity is being when connectivity is the main topic, when connectivity is one of the main topic. So, of course, no, uh, we have these access disparities. The digital divide primarily starts with disparities in access to technology. And as we have noticed in many regions, like on the rural areas and in the developing countries like the Philippines, individuals and communities has this lacks access to affordable, reliable, high-speed internet and digital devices like computers and smartphones due to poverty. And what happens is if this would be the main challenge of our phenomenon, this will definitely impact on the lives of these people. They will be able to have this limited access to technology, and the internet restricts individuals and communities' ability to access information, education, job opportunities, which is very essential uh, on the and essential services online. And exacerbates this exacerbates existing socioeconomic disparities. We cannot deny the fact regarding this access disparity. Another challenge is on the educational divide. Most likely that we are in the online learning. In the digital age, education increasingly relies on online resources and tools. And students without access to the internet or necessary devices face difficulties in accessing educational materials, leading to an educational divide. So if this would be the case, what would be its impact? Definitely, students on the wrong side of the digital divide may struggle with the remote learning. Students who have no capacity for online learning will definitely struggle on this area. That would lead to unequal educational outcomes. Why this happens? This happens because of poverty, and this will or this can perpetuate cycles of poverty and limit future opportunities. Another disparities is on the economic side. When it comes to job opportunities, many job opportunities and job applications are now online. So definitely, Those without digital skills or internet access may miss out on employment opportunities or remain trapped in low-income jobs. So what will happen? This will contribute to income inequality, as individuals without access to digital tools are often excluded from high-paying job sectors that requires digital literacy. Another thing that we have observed is on healthcare disparities, specifically on telehealth. So the digital divide has become especially pronounced during health crises, such as on what we had experienced during COVID-19 pandemic. Telehealth services have become essential. And those without internet access may face barriers to accessing healthcare services. So what will happen? You don't have, you have lack of access to telehealth. This will limit healthcare options among to our fellow men, especially for vulnerable populations. And this will lead to disparities in health outcomes. Napapabayaan. Another challenge is on social inclusion and civic participation. When we say social isolation, individuals without internet access can experience social isolation as they miss out on online social networks, communication platforms, and information sharing. Another challenge is on civic engagement. Digital exclusion can limit individuals' ability to engage in civic activities, such as accessing government services or participating in online discussions or in online voting. Another concern is on data privacy and surveillance. So, as more services move online, individuals without digital access may be excluded from opportunities to protect their privacy online or may not fully understand the risk of data collection and surveillance. What will happen? Those on the wrong side of the digital divide may be more vulnerable to privacy breaches, identity theft, and online manipulation. Another concern is on the age and generational divides. Generational gaps happens when older generation in particular may face challenges, as we all know, in adapting to digital technologies, which will lead to ger- generational divides in digital literacy. And this can affect older individuals' ability to access information, engage in online communities, or use online services, and potentially isolating them further. Yan ay para sa mga matatanda nating kapatid na kahit gaano man gaano natin sila tulungan, no, para matuto, ayaw, no? Ayaw nilang matuto. Another thing, challenge is of course, no, we might end up, how could we be able to select how could we be able to solve or to control or to mitigate this digital divide? Of course, one here is on the broadband expansion. The government and organizations can work, no, together. Private organization can work together to expand broadband infrastructure to underserved areas to improve internet access. We all know mitigating digital divide is very complex. This is a very complex challenge that requires a multifaceted approach involving government, involving the private sector organizations, and civil society. So, as what I have said a while ago, digital divide refers to the gap between those who have access to digital technologies and the internet and those who do not have. So, these are just a few, no? A few strategies, no, that could somehow help mitigate digital divides. No? Number one, broadband expansion. Uh, uh, for the government or any private organization to work together to expand broadband infrastructure, no? Or for the government and private sectors to work hand in hand to invest in building and expanding digital infrastructure, including the broadband internet access, especially in rural and underserved areas. And utilize the public-private partnership to fund and build infrastructure in areas where it may not be financially viable for private companies alone. Another way is on having an affordable device, affordable access. Promote policies to ensure affordable access to the internet for all. No? Maybe the government will have to come up with some subsidies or maybe discounted plans for low-income individuals and or regulatory measures to prevent price gouging and support community-based internet initiatives, no? And public Wi-Fi networks in underserved areas. Second is the digital literacy and skills training, or the digital literacy programs. So with these initiatives, with this program, this will improve digital literacy and skills, targeting not only the children in schools, but also adults in the workplace. Provide trainings and resources for senior citizens and other marginalized groups, no, who may have less exposure to digital technologies. And of course, another way to control is on having access to devices. Support initiatives that would provide low cost or free devices, smartphones, uh, tablets or laptops for teachers, free laptop for teachers, free tablets for students. or to individuals and families who cannot afford them, no? Most likely students or pupils in the underserved areas, and encourage device manufacturers to create more affordable options. And when it comes to content and services, maybe we could develop and promote localized and relevant digital content and services to make the internet more appealing and useful to underserved communities, and support content creation and entrepreneurship, no, in underrepresented regions. Another way is on digital inclusion policies. We might have, or the government might have to enforce, no, policies that require public institutions like schools, libraries, and government offices to provide free or low cost internet access, and somehow encourage businesses to offer digital services that cater to a broader range of customers, including those with disabilities. Another way is on data privacy and security. We have to ensure that individuals' privacy and data security are protected, which can help build trust in digital technologies, particularly among those who may have or who may be skeptical. Another way to mitigate digital divide is through community engagement. No? We have to involve local communities and the grassroots organization in the planning and implementation of digital inclusion initiatives. They often have valuable insights into the unique challenges and when it comes to what they actually encounter and what their communities face. And another is on having research and data collection. We have to continuously monitor the state of the digital divide through data collection and research to understand evolving trends and adjust strategies accordingly. Last one is on global cooperation. Promote international collaboration and partnership to address the digital divide on the global scale, no? Especially in the developing countries. And so, mitigating the digital divide is an ongoing process that requires sustainable efforts, sustained collaboration across various sectors. Additionally, it is very important to tailor strategies to a specific needs and circumstance of different regions and communities, as the digital divide can vary significantly from one place to another. So that's all for now. No? Do you have any questions? If you have questions, just PM me or you may comment, no, in our uh, chat if you have questions regarding this. For now, that's all. Thank you and good morning.